all fun. It's
Mm-hmm.
Hello, everyone. This is Ralph in here, the confidence coach, aka the Queen Ambassador, and I'm so excited. I'm here with another 15 minutes of fame, but tonight I am here with the amazing Melanie Brandon. She is a designer located up near Philly. I say Philly because that's where I
Yeah.
feel like you're kind of based in.
Mm-hmm.
And as you know, I like to take women that are doing amazing, extraordinary things in their lives and their community. As the confidence coach myself, I just thrive on women's empowerment and I love to see women do their thing. So I'm excited to share. Like I said in the notes, Melanie is a designer. She started working with plus size models a lot more lately. She's going to show us, how to just kind of take that traditional thing that you've seen in plus size fashion and modeling, and she is about to take it to another level. So without further ado, Melanie, definitely tell us like a little bit more about you and what you have in store for us plus size models.
Yeah. So I think my approach to all of this is, and it's to me, it's really simple. But if you go and you talk to someone in, like in the industry, and when I say in the industry, I mean like in New York or like the mainstream of New York Fashion Week in the main industry, to them, it's like calculus, right? It's like like brain surgery, right? And it's really not that difficult. And so my approach basically is to take the same concepts that I would have for a model who is a size 2 and put that on now a 22.
Right.
I mean, it's not really that difficult. What it is really, it's about the conceptions or the perceptions of what we think beauty is in this industry. And that's really all it is. It's what, the people, high ups in the industry, how they perceive what is going to sell. Because
Right.
at the end of the day, it's all about money, but it's also a discrimination thing, because
Mhm.
they've made it in their mind that being plus size is not beautiful. And in reality, the average woman in this world is not a size 2. They're just not. They are really the average size really is a 12 or 4 or even a 14. And that's
Mhm.
where the world is. And then it's just that it's just how, even when you look, when a lot of like New York Fashion Week, back in the day, where the majority of the models were Caucasian models, right?
Right.
And so now in the latter part of these, 10 years or whatever, you see more ethnicities walking down the runway or in magazines. And so now slowly, they're starting very slowly. There's some designers who are putting models who are a 14 and up in their shows. Even in Europe, I'm not sure what designer what that was, but he opened up his show with a model. She was not even an 18. She had to be like a 20. And he
Wow.
allowed her to
Nice.
open up the show. This what it was like Valentino or somebody, one of the like
Nice.
really known designers.
Mhm.
And it like, I have to say I'm smart. Like, okay, because I know, and I'm not really patting myself on the back. I'm just looking at the numbers and realistically, who are the women? Who are the women out there in this world, right? They're not models, or they're not per se size 2 models and size, 4. They're real women with real curves and bodies and everything. And that to me is what is attractive. That to me is what beautiful is. Now,
Mhm.
yes, when I started, if most people they look back on my history as a designer, you're going to see mostly Caucasian models, size 2. When you're new, you don't know, when you don't have clout, when you're anxious and you're trying to get up the ladder. Yeah,
Right.
so that's most of my work that you see. And I think life took me and took the blinders off of me,
Right.
just experiencing life and experiencing, what I don't have to do. I don't have to do, plus I don't have to do size 2 all Caucasian models, right? I can
Right.
do models who whoever I want, right? And so that is what in I've just basically decided to do.
I love it. But you know what? And I was on I've been to a couple casting calls lately. In fact, we know we have yours coming up, which we're going to talk about very
Mhm,
shortly.
mhm,
But, just talking to some of the other plus size models who, have been kind of, coming out of the woodwork lately. And it's just,
mhm.
just being, proud. And actually, I was on a call just, shortly with another plus size model who says, now there's more events and it's almost become like, coming out of the woodwork and just really giving shining an eye on what's available. And like, we were saying, not super long ago, everybody buys clothes. Everybody needs clothes. I mean, if you're into fashion, there should be something. And I was talking to a colleague earlier today, and I said, okay, I'm going to be on with like, this awesome designer. She's really trying to take the industry for plus size models or plus size women into a different direction. And she said, yeah, she said, and ask her why sometimes when we go look for like plus size clothes, why are they always designed for women who are like, like so, so
Say it.
much older or a little more on the conservative side. And I'm
Say
like,
it,
trust
say
and
it, say
believe.
it.
Yes, we want to still, and even though it's not pinup per se,
Right,
we
right,
still want to show off our curves. And
right.
gone are the days where, because you're a
Mhm,
plus size woman, do you have to feel
mhm.
like you have to be extra conservative and covered
Right,
up? Like, where do you stand on that? I mean, I think I'm pretty
right.
sure I know where you stand
You
on
already, yeah. Well, yeah, Ralph, you already know. So for me, it was so funny because I was just in the mall yesterday with my cousin and we walked, she's like 14, 16 or whatever. And we walked through that thing and everything was just, it was hideous. It was just hideous, right?
it.
There's all these boxy, just make trash bags, really. Like, I mean, just what's the point? So I think you kind of already know where I come from, and that's why I think that's what has attracted me to this because my aesthetic as a designer is basically things that you already see me designing. I'm not changing the things that because I'm doing plus size, I'm not going to say, oh, it has to be super boxy and it has to look like grandma's clothes. I'm using paillette t-shirts and bell-bottom pants and
Nice.
like, beautiful, very haute couture. I'm putting haute couture in my collections because that's where I come from. I come from
Right.
doing the kind of over the top glamorous, but in the last few years, I've been making things more wearable, for women. Obviously, you got to wear it somewhere. But
Right.
I'm not, I understand. I understand how the plus size industry, you see stuff on the racks and this stuff is garbage. It's just ugly. And it's like, especially
Mhm.
somebody who's like somebody who might be like very young, 22 years old, but this is all you're giving me? You're giving me these ugly, boxy clothes? Like, seriously?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm staying current with the trends of high end fashion, and I'm just doing high end fashion for sizes 14 and up.
I love
I
it.
love it.
I mean, for me, and that was one of the issues that I always had because, even though I am, middle age
Mm-hmm.
and a grandmother, I'm a
Right,
me, I
right,
still tend to, because I have a love for fashion,
right,
like so many other women, I'm attracted to things that are, sparkly and
right,
form
right.
fitting and glittery,
Mm-hmm,
and even if,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
flare
Trend, you
jeans.
like the trends as well.
I like trends, and when
Right.
you would go into traditional plus size stores, you just would never
No,
see any. I mean,
no.
I would be looking forever, and it
Right.
really wasn't until we started having like the
Mm-hmm,
online shopping.
mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna name drop this
Right,
particular segment, but we know who some of them are.
right.
Um, that started showing us, they have like and I am an ambassador for one. That's why I said, I'll
Okay.
save that for another time.
Right,
The curvy or the plus size categories that were also trend. In fact, a
right.
lot of their clothes that were for the straight sizes, they did a lot of what you're saying. They just make it in a
Mm-hmm.
bigger size. It's not
Mm-hmm.
rocket science. It
It's
just
not
makes
it's not
sense.
rocket science and everything, but because of their discrimination and what quote unquote the norm is in the
Mhm.
industry, it's like a player's game. Everybody wants to be with the cool things, and the cool group is not the group, in their mind is going to be with sizes 14, and that's horrible,
Right.
because and now you said about your age, but guess what? I'm 58 years old, and I have never like, I don't want to wear anything that's like, if I go to, if someone were to tell me to go into the department store and go to the old lady section and everything, the women in my age, right? Then that stuff would be horrible. I'm
Yeah.
very much, and I'm not, I mean, I never want to be, I don't want to be gray haired and everything, and walking in no platform shoes or whatever, but I'm not going to wear a lot of stuff that women say in my age group wants to wear. I love
Right.
trends. And then the thing is, I just love fashion, right? I love
Right.
fabrics. I mean, if you see behind me, a lot of, I deal with
Mhm.
an array of fabrics and stuff like that. So my collection is going to be really for the women who love fashion.
Right.
Okay, that's a difference.
I love it. And it makes perfect sense to me. I mean, I think it's
Mhm,
just something that we have needed and wanted
mhm,
for so
mhm,
long. And so many of us, like you said,
mhm,
that have a love for fashion, just
mhm.
felt kind of like, where
Left
do
out.
we fit in? Yeah, where do we fit in? And so
Right.
the beauty of this is, and to me, what becomes the double blessing is because of, like you said, you're smart, you saw an opportunity because
Yeah.
where there is a desire or need for actual plus size fashions,
Mhm.
that opens the door for now. Guess who we need to model those fashions? Now that opens the
Right.
door for plus
Right.
size models
Right.
that
Right.
didn't necessarily exist before.
Right.
So
Right.
I just think that to me, like I said, that's the double blessing
Mhm.
because you saw a need
Right.
and you just are acting on that need.
Right.
Necessity is the mother of invention. It's cliche,
Yes.
but it's so true.
It's very true though.
It's so true. And I
Mhm.
think the fact that you were smart enough to, hopefully other designers and other people will get on board. I believe
Right.
that there's room for everyone. And I hope
Yes.
what this does is at least just opens the door so other people can see, that
Right.
there is a market for plus size fashions
Right.
and therefore there's a need for plus size models.
Right.
And
Right. Right. Right.
I just think it's wonderful. So again, so I want to talk a little bit. I'm excited about your event. So, for those of you who may or may not know, if you've seen some of the information on my page, Melanie has a casting call coming up. But, as we say, it's so much more than a casting call because you've got the
Yeah.
casting call and a photo shoot combined and some other
Right.
little nuggets that you're doing. We
Yeah.
leave, I'll be there in
Mhm.
less than 2 weeks. I'll be joining
Yeah.
you on
13 days? What,
yeah,
12
less than
days?
2 weeks. I've been counting down.
Me too.
Highly anticipated event, and
Yes. Yes.
I have been to casting calls where in fact, I was in one
Mhm.
not too long ago, back in November, where I stood in line for 4.5 hours. Now, I did get a call back. I did get a
Right.
call back where, there were 5,000 women and I was called down to the 500. And that's kind
Right.
of where I'm teetering at now to see beyond that.
Right.
But can I just say, like I said, what attracted me most is that you are going to reserve your spot at Melanie's event. You plus size models that are interested in casting and photo shoots and all the things, reserving the spot if you've ever stood in line for hours
Right.
in the
Right.
cold,
Right.
in the heat, whatever. To
Right.
me, this in itself is just genius because I'm like, I don't
Mhm.
have to stand in line. It's an RSVP
Mhm.
type of situation.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
tell us
Yeah.
more about your event. That's so much more than a casting call.
Right. It's so much more than the casting call. Thank you so much, Ralphie, for that. So, initially my idea was just to, because of all the fashion weeks that I participate in, from Philadelphia Fashion Week to New York Fashion Week to, and now just been asked to do Paris Fashion Week. Because of all these fashion weeks that I always participate in, and now because I'm doing plus sizes, it just made sense for me to do my own casting. So that's where I came up with the idea. Okay, well, let me just go do and get a casting. I didn't really need to do a casting for, say, size 2s and 4s, because now all the shows that I'm going to do, I'm mixing it up. I'm gonna have a few size 2s and a few plus size, right? But I knew, in order for me to find the models who are 12 or who are 14 and above that I wanted to work with, where I didn't have to go on a massive hunt, because normally at these castings, you see a handful of models who are 14 and above. Like it's very, and then they're just never what you want, right? So I was like, let me do my own casting. So that's how the casting initially started.
Right.
But then me naturally, me as a designer, it was like, why am I just once I did more homework on the plus size industry, I then saw, I knew early in there was more, there was a demand, right? You ladies really needed help, because every time I would see pictures of plus size models, and I'm not knocking the pageant industry, right? Pageant pictures and pageant, images and things like that. Most of the images that I would see you ladies posting were images that had to do with the beauty and or commercial or pageant. It's not fashion, right? And then you ladies have never been privy to the fashion industry per se.
Right.
And then, I would see these images that just were, they were okay, but they're not. If you see the images that I've been blessed to have in magazines and stuff like that, I wanted to merge the two.
Right.
So I said, okay, Melanie, this is turning into much more than a casting. So why don't you, Melanie, at your casting, give these ladies, they desperately need a comp card, because I'm seeing comp cards that are just really bad. They're not updated. The makeup that these models are getting for their comp card there's nothing that, if I were to send you to an agency, the agency just based, or if you were to send your digital comp card to an agency to see if you can get a go see, that image, they would just be like, they would pass you on, right? So I had to create an environment where I'm going to totally re-educate these ladies, give them a clean slate, prepare them. The casting then turned into me now saying, Melanie, you have to be, the ambassador or the self-chosen person to help them, guide them, just don't take, but what do you now what can you provide these women? What can you give them? And then when I said, Melanie, you know what, with all the photographers, with all the makeup artists that I know, with all the hair people, with all the people, big like people in the industry, like Noel Marin from America's Next Top Model. He's a great friend of mine. He's promoted. He actually did my entire 2010 and 2012 fashion week. I didn't have to do anything. He put me in the hotel and everything. Toby Rubenstein Schneider. She is a big noted person in the fashion industry in New York. I mean, these are people that I surround myself. Ken Tharrellbeck, who is a known fashion published. Most of the photographers that I deal with are published photographers for magazines. My stuff has been in, Runway magazine, Vogue Korea, Elle Girl Japan, those Zinc magazine. Those are the magazines that my clothes have been in. So now I'm going to bridge the gap between the plus size ladies and the fashion industry, the real high end run. But I need women, if you are looking at this and you do want to come to the casting, which is less than 12 days, the 13 days. It is Saturday. It is Saturday, January the 14th. It is in Philadelphia, really like 10 minutes, like 5 minutes outside of Philadelphia, just cross the street, whatever. Wincote, Pennsylvania. Go on my page, send me a friend request here, and go on my page. I'll send you the link, yada yada. It is $75 for that. Why $75? I'm glad you asked. It's $75
Mhm.
because this is so much more than the casting. I'm bringing in noted makeup and hair and photographers into this. You're going to get a casting call. The $75 is just like, it's the only time I'm probably going to ever ask you to get money. But
Right.
I have to know that, number one, I need to, a lot of these models need to almost really be retrained.
Right.
You need a better comp card. Some of you are coming with really bad hairstyles. If you ever remember how America's Next Top Model, how all the
Oh
shows
yes.
go. All right.
Season
So,
one.
right. The season one, the first show is the show where they completely strap your whole look. They might cut
Yep.
your hair. Now, I'm not doing anything as drastic as that, but I'm making sure a lot of you know how to walk properly. This is not pageant walking. So it's not none of the switching and the turning and the posing that you would do. I used to be in pageant, so I know. So I'm not
Mm-hmm.
in the pageant industry, but I need to make sure the main point of this is to make sure that you models are ready. If I say that there is an open casting, and I hear about castings all the time, if I hear about one of the designers, I am not stingy where I would not say, Ralph Ann, there's a casting for New York Fashion Week, Donna Karen has an opening and she needs a plus size black model.
Right.
This is the time, go ahead. But if you ladies are not, if you don't know how to walk, if you're still walking in a pageant
Right.
way, if your comp card is still, like 2009 type images, if you
Right.
got the makeup that's really bad, if you got images with long lashes, like there's so many things that a casting or the real industry requires you that's nothing like pageant or beauty.
Right.
Your images
Exactly.
are your images are going to look different. And there's a lot of you don't know how to dress properly, even at a casting.
Right.
There's a lot of, like, I send emails and images and pictures to the ladies who have already registered because I'm trying to prepare them once again for the industry. I'm trying to and after that I'll be suggesting that you go to a certain casting. Now for me personally, I'm doing the casting because I'm going to be using a lot of you models for all the photo shoots that I'm doing, all the shows that I'm doing.
Right.
And I want to be able to say, okay, I know Bridget is ready. I know Jamila I think her name is Jamila Harris. I know she is, she's their type
Right.
of whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
right. So that is, if you have not registered, go on my page or go on Ralph's page and you'll see the link. And get ready for the 14th. We're going to have food there. You're going to be there for a while because it's going to be a long day, a long, very, very,
Right.
very busy day. Yeah.
But so productive. And it's funny that you even talk about top model because I had this conversation with one of the curvy girls in my organization. And
Mm-hmm.
I told her, I said, if you really, really, really want to get some nuts and bolts,
Right.
fun information, I said, go back and watch the earlier seasons of America's Next Top Model.
That's right. That's right.
I went back, revisited, watched first season. I actually just last night went back and
Mm-hmm.
Prime has it so you can order like season two.
Right.
Those hard when Tyra was first kind of like, all right, y'all, I need weave out, and we've had this conversation. I
Yeah.
tend to wear a lot of easy half wigs that you can do this with.
Right.
Because I just like to be in a very versatile position myself. It just
Right.
makes it easier too for other designers or photographers. They're like,
Right.
you need to switch your hair to this.
Right. Right.
I can be blonde in 10 minutes. So,
Right. Right. Right.
and then
Right.
I can be back to brunette again. And I
Right.
just think
Mm-hmm.
that the education part, people, like you were saying before, need to be thick skinned. Don't take it personal.
You
It's
can't.
actually kind of fun. Think of it as
Yes.
like, Halloween, like where you can always change your
Yes.
image. And,
Yes.
and I remember some of the earlier parts of Top Model where some of them were just so offended, and oh my God, she stripped me of my weave and she cut my hair. I'm like, baby, just
Yeah. Baby girl, hair
strips,
goes
these
down.
lashes come off, my hair comes
Honey,
off.
honey, this comes off,
Just
okay?
to me, it's just fun. You
Right,
are a
right,
muse, just kind
right,
of remember that you're there to create a character for this photographer, for this designer. Don't
right.
take it personal. I am not married to anything.
Right,
Um,
right. And you
that,
can't be, because
you know,
the fashion industry is the fashion industry. That is
right,
really basically the meaning of fashion, because it's ever changing. It changes within 5 minutes. 5 minutes, nobody else is doing bell bottoms.
right.
The next day it's another trend and everything. So if you're not flexible, if you
Hmm.
do not have thick skin, this is do not register. Now, I'm not one of those people, who is, screaming at girls and calling names. I don't go by that book. But if I were to gently say to you, you might want to consider, maybe getting a facial, because, maybe whatever issue, or if I might say you might want to change your diet because of whatever, or if I say we need to change your hairstyle, it doesn't
Right,
always mean like cutting your hair. There's
right,
there's good wigs, but you cannot, ladies, come to this casting. You cannot come to this casting, and let me just kind of get that out before my time is up. Please do not come to the casting with long showgirl eye, like my eyelashes, right? You
right,
please.
right, right.
Ralph
Yeah,
Ann and I,
not
you please,
these. This is for
yeah,
broadcast only.
right. This is just
Right,
for a broadcast, for everyday. Look, I go with my lash, but if I were a model, I would know that I cannot come to a
right,
casting with lashes. Come with your own natural lashes, right? Come, you can do a makeup. If you go on my page, you'll see I posted some images of how to go to a casting and stuff like that.
hmm,
Or Google, we go to YouTube, look at some videos, or how your makeup should be done, how your clothes. You come, basically, if you're coming to the registration, basically come with black tights or black stretchy pants. There was one girl who sent me a video of, she had the black fitted pants, but they had ruffles on the sides. Do not do that, because now I can't really
right,
see where your body stops, and where the ruffles and all the other kind of stuff. Like, I can't focus. I don't want to have to focus on that, because as a designer, I'm trying to figure out what you're going to look like in the sporty wear, whatever. I don't know where your body is, right? So with
right,
all that, come with just a regular white shirt or whatever, or a black shirt, right? They're very, very simple. Please don't come with long nails and stuff like that. Please do
right,
not do that. It is distracting as a designer. I'm trying to look at you and put you in the collection visually in my mind and everything. Please
right,
don't come with a whole like crazy makeup and jewelry and stuff like that. All you should do is bring your body and an open mind and ready to work. So, and then, bring your heels. Please bring your heels. I need to see whether or not you can walk. We have 3 rooms set up there. One room for the comp card, one room for the waiting room, and another room for so I can see the ladies walk.
nice.
So if you have pictures, bring your pictures. That's fine. But
Hmm.
the times are between 4 and 8 o'clock. The address 827 Glenside Avenue in Wyncote, Pennsylvania. But go on my page, you'll see the link and everything. Yeah. So.
Yes, so they can register. I just encourage it. Like I said, I've been looking forward to it. Coming as a blank canvas, I think that's one thing. And I'm
Mhm.
I'm just kind of a natural nail person now. If you look close, there's some glitter on them,
But your
but they're
nails
always
are
very
fine.
short. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
always very short.
yeah,
I just, that's just I work better with short nails.
that's
Um,
perfect. Yeah.
and just kind of, a blank canvas, and
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
always like to do a little extra, I'm an esthetician by nature, so I do
Hmm.
like to do little
Hmm.
extra things with my skin,
Hmm.
let your natural skin glow, just so many
Right.
fun,
Right.
and like I said, it's really more of just, allowing yourself, to come as a blank canvas and
Right.
just know that you're going to play a character.
Right.
So don't come, with the character already in place. And
Right. Right. Right.
that's one thing when I used to teach, for, Barbizon and different things like that.
Hmm.
have to really kind of just help people to
Mhm,
understand,
mhm,
your
mhm,
natural beauty is really what the photographer and designer need to create that
mhm,
character.
mhm,
But
mhm.
I'm looking forward to it. Um,
Yeah.
I have gotten the information, I love, even though I am an instructor myself, I think people teach what they love to learn, or the other
Right.
way around.
Mhm,
So
mhm,
I love getting information. I never feel like I've been, so educated and in this so long
mhm,
that I
mhm,
still
mhm.
can't learn. There is
Right.
always room for improvement. There's
Always.
always room to learn more.
Mhm.
And I think it's going to be phenomenal. I mean, I'm just putting it out there. I am
Yeah.
so looking forward to it. I
Yeah.
don't like to rush things, but I am desperately anxious to get there and to participate. I'm really sincerely looking forward to
Yeah.
it. Um,
Yeah.
I thank you very much for
Yes.
the
Of course.
opportunity, for
Of
coming
course.
on and sharing this with everybody else. I will have the contact information again in
Mhm.
the show notes so that people can, connect with you. You still
Mhm.
have time to register. And, and Melanie is doing such a great job of
Mhm.
preparing you for her event that
Yeah.
even though it's just, a short window, you can
Right.
do this. You're going to be
Yeah.
so prepared. I just feel
Yeah.
like, even if you don't, if you think you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna feel so prepared just by what the information she's sending out.
Yeah. And,
100%.
and and there, I think there are a lot of models who reached out to me and said that they're new, they've never done this before. This
Mhm.
is really the platform. I am taking a lot of models who are very green to the industry,
Mhm,
because that
mhm.
way it's easier for me to mold them and to give them the right instruction instead of them going out there and messing up and making a lot of mistakes, and
Right.
paying someone $2,000, $20,000 and everything and getting taken by a lot of these sharks, because they are exist out there. So yeah.
Right. So I think it'll be great. Well, I appreciate you again. Anyone
Yes.
has any questions, definitely reach out to Melanie. I will have her contact information. And if there's something that you're not sure about, definitely you can double check with me, and I'll definitely work as like the liaison between
Right. Yes.
between everyone. All
Yeah.
right. So thank you again. Thank you so much, Melanie. And
Yes.
everyone, as always, here's to you becoming the best version of you.
Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.